Welcome to Invisible Me, a podcast centred around invisible health issues and the feeling of not being seen and heard. Yet here I am, standing right in front of you. Does this sound familiar? Well, come join the conversation. Share your experiences. Let's break down those norms and attitudes for the better. This is a safe space to chat with me, Pat. Welcome, Julie. Thank you for making the time to be here tonight. Where are you sitting? What county are you in? What part of the land are we chatting to?
I actually live in Gloucestershire. Sometimes we say it's the Royal County because obviously the King has got a house here in Tetbury and Princess Anne lives here. So we like to think we're the Royal County, really. But Gloucestershire is beautiful.
It is. I've been there recently to help with my branding and a mutual friend of ours, a business friend. So yes, I got to go down and I want to go back because you're right, it is beautiful. It's actually quirky beautiful. There's a different beauty because a lot of coastal areas and lots of England is beautiful, but quirky different, architectural different. So thank you for coming along and having a chat. And I'm going to start it off by saying you're in recovery nearly 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's just over 2 weeks that I had a lumpectomy surgery to remove 2 cancerous lumps in my left breast. And they took some lymph nodes as well, even though they thought they were clear on the ultrasound, they still take the closest 2 just to double check them. So I've been very good because I'm out all the time, but
you're a busy lady.
I am. And I've been in more or less, apart from walking to the coffee shop down the road, for 2 and a bit weeks.
Oh, wow. They're very happy to see you. They must know your drink by now, getting it ready for you.
Always. They know exactly what I'm going to have. And if someone gets there early and says, skinny latte, extra hot, they know who it's going to be for.
That's fab. I love that. I love community. I love local community. I don't care what folks say. People rally. People get to know you. People generally are friendly and helpful no matter what we think.
Absolutely.
Compared to media and everything else that's going on in the world. Yeah, it's all good. Can I go a wee bit further back in the story? How, apart from the obvious, but how did you discover these 2 lumps? Or was there symptoms or niggles? What was the beginning?
Well, actually not the norm, because I shower every morning and I sit in I've got I call it the dressing room, but it was our 4th bedroom. We used to have the cots in there for our 2 children. So I sit in my dressing room and I always blow dry my hair naked, otherwise I get too hot. And as I was doing that and I had my hands above my head, I noticed underneath my left breast was like a crease. It was like a dent. Or that was the only way I could describe it. And I thought, oh, that's a bit odd.
Yeah.
And I just thought, oh, that's a bit odd. And then as 2 or 3 days went on, it looked like it was getting wider.
Right.
And so I went to the GP and I said, I've got this kind of crease, indentation, whatever. And because I was thinking to myself, do I go to the doctor? Well, it is a change of shape. It is not the norm. So I thought I'll go. And I called the doctors and they said, come in tonight. And my doctor had a feel around. She said, well, I can't feel a lump.
Okay.
But I will send you. We are very lucky in Gloucestershire to have in Cheltenham the Thurleston Breast Clinic.
Okay.
And that is all they do. And she said, I will make an appointment there. I said, I haven't had a mammogram for 2 years, so it would be good. And within 2 weeks, I had a letter and it said they have a 2-week limit. Everything, they see you within 2 weeks.
I love the speed of that. And rightly so, yeah.
That's NHS. And I can only say how fantastic they have been. So I went along and I actually hadn't really read the letter. I just saw mammogram, the time on a Wednesday morning. I was actually playing my saxophone at a fashion show at lunchtime.
As you do.
Yeah. So I'd gone to the restaurant, set all my gear up, said to the lady who ran the boutique, I said, I'm just popping out for a mammogram and I'll be back.
Yes.
And went off to the mammogram. And first of all, went to see the nurse. It was a male nurse, Dave. I absolutely love him. And he said, oh, just pop behind the screen and I popped behind the screen, and he had a feel around, and he said, "Oh yeah, I can feel a lump."
Oh, right.
He said, "Right, come back and sit down." And he said, "Right." He said, "You're going to have a mammogram, then you're going to have an ultrasound. They will probably do a biopsy. Then you'll go back to another mammogram because they'll put a marker in.
Yes.
And then you'll come back to me and I will tell you everything I know."
Wow.
So I said, "Well, I'm actually playing at a fashion show."
I was just going to say, you've got commitment.
Yeah. So how long will this take? And he went, "We'll get you to the fashion show. Don't worry." And I went, "Okay." So went for the mammogram and then went into the ultrasound. And the guy doing the ultrasound, he said, "Can you see that dark shadow on the screen?" And I said, "Oh, I can see 2 dark shadows." And he said, "Yep, they're cancerous lumps and we're going to take those out." And I was kind of, what? The way he said it.
Yes.
And then he said to the nurse who was in there, "We'll do a biopsy," which I had no idea what a biopsy was. But they literally stick a needle in with local anaesthetic to numb your breast. And then they put something else in. It sounds like a stapler.
Okay.
And the sound of the stapler is them taking bits out of your breast.
Oh, my goodness.
That was quite off-putting, I have to say. And then I went back for another mammogram. And then went back to Dave and he said, "Well, are you okay?" And I said, "Well, not really."
Well, that was a bit of, full on, but no warning, no time to prepare the brain or take it in.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I wasn't really struggling to take it in. And he said, "Well, yes, you have got cancerous lumps and we are going to operate and you will probably have radiotherapy after that." And this is like all within 2 hours on a Wednesday morning. And
unbelievable.
I said, "When will the surgery be?" And he said, "Oh, it'll be in the next 60 days. And I said, "Oh, gosh, we've got a really big holiday booked. Japan, Vietnam, Taiwan."
Yes, I saw.
And he said, "Well, we want you to have your holiday." He said, "We have a drug that we can give you that we gave to ladies during COVID that couldn't get in to be operated on, and it starts to shrink the tumours."
Amazing.
I know. Isn't it amazing?
Things have progress. Science and, research, it is phenomenal.
20 years ago, Pat, I think
that
might not be,
existed.
It wouldn't have been like that. So off I went and I had to go back in another week. And they just put me through this process. So I have to wait now. I see the consultant next Friday and hopefully the margins are clear and they took enough. The lymph nodes are clear and I can go to the radiotherapy hopefully January. But if the margins aren't clear, they will go back in.
And have some more.
Yeah. So that's not so good.
No, it's not. But that's not going to happen.
Well, I kind of, I read a lot about stoicism and we can only deal with what we know. There's no point your brain's thinking, what if this, what if that? We have to deal with what we know and not waste our brain space on thinking about anything else, really.
It's so true. It's so true. Focus on the now because really that's all we can control.
So we know.
And we catastrophize and we all do it. We spin out and you're still making yourself ill. It has a psychological, it has a physical effect on you. So you're right. Let's look what's in the road in front of us. That was an incredible 2 hours. That was all on your little lonesome because you were going to rock up thinking you're having a chat, maybe a mammogram and get on with the rest of your day and then return to clinics later. But 2 hour turnaround with the lovely Dave. I'm very impressed there's a guy. This is another new thing for women to know out there. It's just not all women in that service anymore.
No, I think he is the only one. You get given a breast nurse that is sort of yours, but actually they have a 24-hour helpline and you can ring any time of the day or night and leave a message and they ring you back the next day.
Wow.
It is really good. And I think he's the only guy, but I think he's been there a while because a friend of mine had breast cancer in 2009 and she said, "Have you met Dave yet?" I went, "I've met Dave, he's great."
That is great. We'll be all coming down the country for Dave. Well, good for him. I love out of the norm. I love people stretching out and breaking down all these assumptions and ideas we think is correct, and we should never assume. But we're human. We judge all the time, and that's what happens. So going back to 2, and he found it then. How was the healing before the surgery, after the little biopsies were taken? Was it just like a normal little cut or a little injury, or were you bruised, or
Yeah, you are a
how
little
was
bit.
that?
You're a little bit bruised, and they tell you straight away not to wear wired bras. So couldn't wear any wired bras. So my daughter and I went off to Marks and Spencer's and got some lovely soft ones, and I had to come off HRT. Now, another myth, actually, because we were talking
No,
about
share
before we
them.
came on, we were talking about myths, weren't we?
We
And
were.
I know it's a tricky one. I said to the consultant, has the HRT caused the breast cancer? And she said, no, it doesn't cause it, but the kind of breast cancer I have feeds off the estrogen.
Oh,
So
we can't win.
yeah. So a lot of women won't go on HRT because they think it is connected. And I suppose it is sort of connected, but there will be hundreds of thousands of women who take HRT who don't ever get breast cancer. So like she said, it doesn't cause it, but it does feed off it. So mine, I had to come straight off it, which means I am back to the hot flushes, probably the mood swings, but it's hard to tell because we're moody anyway, aren't we? But yeah, not great to, suddenly have a hot flush.
Yeah, and it does happen very quickly. I'm on HRT. Again, mine started off for a skin condition because I'm allergic to the sun, and we're trying to see if that would reverse it. And then I enjoyed the benefits of HRT and not having the hot flushes, so I asked, "Hey, can I stay on?" And so I did.
Yeah.
Then I had a little scare and with the gynecologist, the other end, and literally, and she said, "Oh, thank God you're on HRT." So her reaction was, "This is good for me, and it's good for my bones and good for everything." She says, "No, you need it, Pat, and for your skin." And she was so relieved.
Yeah.
So she was praising, "Oh my God, get on the HRT and stay on it."
Good for your bones, good for your heart.
Yeah, completely. So, and then I asked the GP, when do I come off it? She says, whenever you feel like it, it's up to you. And I'm going, I have a choice. It's nice having choice. Choices become more available in NHS and our own care. So that's an interesting one. Another myth that I was told, you may have heard people think cancer lumps if you don't feel pain. That was another one. Oh, it's not cancer, it's a benign lump or something else. But
I think that's very hard to say because
exactly.
in our cycles as women, whether it's time we would have ovulated or whatever, I think you can have aches under your arm, which is in your lymph nodes, or all sorts of things. And certainly lately, I have been trying to say on my social media, it's not just about lumps. For me, it was that crease.
Yes.
But for a friend of mine, she had an itchy rash around her nipple. She was putting eczema cream on it because she thought it was eczema.
Yes, yes.
She actually has had a mastectomy.
Wow.
It was breast cancer. And so that's why I've been putting out lately, if your breast change shape, alter in any way, whether it is pain, whether it isn't, I think your doctors want you to go to them and you want to be checked out, really, because I have read that it is 1 in 8 women now that do get breast cancer. But we don't die of it like we did 20 years ago.
No, it's not doom and gloom in the end of the world like it was.
Yeah.
That's really good for listeners to take heed. Any change, just if in doubt, just go.
I mean, some people would, if they find it, if they left it and it's stage 4 or whatever, it's not going to be good, or if it's a secondary of something else. But for the sort that I have, and actually 3 of my school friends have, we're all in our early 60s. Yes. We've all had the same sort of thing: lumpectomy, radiotherapy, then you're done, really.
Good. And like you said, prognosis is the future of the science and the research and all the possibilities. It is so much more, so much better. And it's not always the end of the world.
Yeah.
But we're stuck when traditional, we're stuck in the old ways. And some of us, like you said a moment ago, are frightened to go. They don't want to, and just in case, but isn't early intervention the best medicine all along? Go. Don't be frightened. Never be frightened. Because there's so much options and solutions. And
Yeah.
how are you in your own head, or if you had a chance to think about yourself being a fabulous woman out there in the world rocking it, have you got to have a bit of an emotional wobble, or are you just ploughing on or keeping busy? What are you doing in your time of relaxing and slowing down, pacing yourself?
I'm reading a lot. As I said, I read a lot of, I read the Daily Stoic. So every morning you get a reading from, some ancient emperor or whatever, and then it's transcribed into how it affects us today, and that sort of sense, that's quite good. But a friend of mine who's has rung the bell after a radiotherapy, she's a couple of months ahead of me, she said, this is the hardest part, to keep your together, because you've had the surgery and now you just want to know that it's all clear, really. And so I've only got a week now to keep my shit together, and I'm walking a lot. So I bought a treadmill, and in the morning I walk on the treadmill half an hour watching the news. I am colouring.
Yes, I like the colouring. I get that.
People liked my colouring. They can't see it they can't see the detail, because I went to collect a raffle prize yesterday for something, and the girl said, you should sell off your colouring. I went, you can't see it. I don't always stay in the lines. As the light gets dim at night, I forget to put more lights on, and it's not that good. So I'm doing that. I'm reading. I don't watch TV. I really, although I did watch one film, my husband was out, and I managed to get on Amazon Prime, order a film. I watched The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, and he said, that's so old. Why did you watch that?
The old ones are the best.
Yeah, and I think I'd seen that the stage show is opening in London, so I thought, I'm going to watch that, and then we could go and see the stage show.
Good, thank you.
But generally, I do a lot of social media, because I do social media for myself or a couple of charities. So that, if you sit down with a coffee, you can always put another post on for someone.
Of course. Family, daughters or kids, husband, have they highlighted or said anything to you, or are they all been quiet and protective and don't want to upset you?
Yeah, my son was very quiet, but he's brilliant, and he's in hospitality, so he couldn't see me the weekend of the op because it's been the races here in Cheltenham. But I've seen him since. And my daughter, she stayed with my husband the day I had the surgery, and then she came in to get me. And then the following day, she stayed with me all day. So we had a lovely day. She's great. And I've got this gorgeous granddaughter who's 5.
Yes, I've seen her on social media.
Yeah, and she's great.
Gladdens your heart. They are just the medicine you need.
Yeah, they are pure joy with a capital J. And she's even been doing my exercises with me.
Oh, bless.
She's great.
She's a sweetheart. And that age group, my favourites.
Yeah. I mean, I did say to everyone, I'm going to write a book in this 2 or 3 weeks that I have off, but I haven't had time to even start it.
It's in here. Yeah. So we'll be all logging on prime time next year and watching your episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm going to round up, because you're, again, as I said, a very busy woman. Any last little quirks, tips, any little things you want to share to close, or we'll just have another conversation at a later date?
Well, I just want to say, really take on board that if anything changes shape, go and see your doctor. But it's certainly, and everyone must say it, makes you realise you need to live every single day, every single second, because you just do not know what is around the corner.
No, you don't. And did you enjoy the fashion show? Did you get back?
I did. And actually, the friend I saw earlier, she said, I can't believe you played your saxophone at that fashion show after all that. I said, I think I was in a daze, really. And September was also Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So I thought, I've got time to think about this in September. Yeah. I just need to crack on, really. But no, it's, and then I sort of felt, look, it's breast cancer. So many women have it now. I just need to put my big pants on and be positive.
The big positive pants on, for sure. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. Really, thank you. It's been an honour, and you've been very open, and you shared a lot of intimate stuff, and I really, really appreciate that. And I know our listeners will benefit from it very, very much. Thank you, and carry on wearing the pants.
Thank you, Pat. See you soon.